That was a missed decisive strike. So before the first gen even pops.
And we do see Death Wish convicted of murder here, as you can see by the score to the final set.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your judge, Doc Frame, bringing you some more action here at Vigo's Court, and I'm joined by SSB Kid over here as counselor. How you doing today, Kid?
Doing well. Had some snacks in me. You know, we were on deck earlier today for the first match of today's preseason games, and now we're here for the second one. I'm really excited. Again, I'm super excited to have been able to just kind of share the space with so many different people over the weekend. This is our first time we're gonna do some work together for sure. So I'm really excited. As you guys can see, we do have Swamp versus Sceptus, and it's going to be a really interesting battle between both of these teams. Sceptus, a very strong team for sure on paper, won the first two qualifying tournaments for Vigos. A couple of teams definitely, the whispers around the fog, definitely worried about them a little bit, and fun fact, a couple of these guys kind of came out of CDM formerly, so it'll be interesting to see. And CDM is a very strong team in their own right also, right? So it's interesting to see how much depth there is behind them, right? And there's some new faces to the team as well, I believe. And Swamp specifically, not originally in season 3, right? But sometimes you get put on a waiting list depending on who's in, who's not in, and after teams drop out, life happens, things happen. So Swamp back in business, looking to prove something for sure. So it'll be really, really exciting. I'm excited to share the space once again with you. What are your thoughts on this match today?
Oh yeah, so regardless, like you said, regardless of whatever happens, Swamp's here now. It's Swamp versus Sceptus today, and we are going to be starting off at Suffocation Pit. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go over that real quick. Let you take it away there.
Yeah, absolutely. Suffocation Pit, part of the Macmillan estate. The home of the Trapper, right? Although we probably won't see any Trapper. But regardless, it's a nice, pretty medium-sized map, somewhere around the 10,000 square meters. Lots of square tile. 160 square tiles, starting off with a minimum of 7 hooks, maximum of 12, and this is home to the Swamp. So this will be very interesting. Medium-sized map, lots of space, lots of mobility. So I'm actually curious to see what the killer is going to, what killers are going to come into play on this map, right?
Right, and I don't have any experience with these particular teams, so it's going to be a complete surprise to me on what killers they actually bring to the table.
every team is a surprise to me, so we're both in.
We're both in the same boat, bro.
Yeah, as someone, once again, as someone who's is new to the comp scene, I'm excited. I've been blown away so far with performances all around the board. So I'm excited. So this will be really, really nice to see. Hopefully we will be getting started soon. And yeah, once again, Suffocation Pit gonna be a pretty good map. It's not gonna be my personal experience seeing lots of Cold Tower, but we'll eventually see it, I assume. So, but yeah, this will be great.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen some good games over the past couple days. Like last night, you were casting for a Death Wish game, and I tell you what, I was blown away by the performance there. You did an excellent job casting for your first time on desk too, I have to say. And then like tonight, like this matchup right here, man, I'm pumped for it because both teams seem pretty evenly matched on paper, but until we see them perform, especially on their home maps, you kind of wonder how much they've been practicing on these maps.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, right? And now the new change to the format, right? Normally you play all 4 maps on the killers or on the home team side, and now with the new change introduced to season 3, you get a nice split of 2 and 2. And that kind of provides, less time to adapt to certain maps, to the RNG of tiles, the RNG of pallets, and all that good stuff. When it comes to switching between 2 maps, you kind of have to just think on the fly a little bit more. But it does provide a little bit more balance to both sides, right? You get more games on your home map, roughly speaking. So it should be a good time regardless.
Yeah, and it looks like just about everyone's ready up here as far as their survivors go. Might be going into the match here soon.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for the killer to ready up, I think. And good old connection, make sure everything is nice and dandy. And yeah, it'll be great. Again, I'm not really too sure, once I get more familiar with who's playing and who's not playing, I probably can make better inferences as opposed to what killers we're going to see. But once again, we talked about it before. I've talked about it all weekend, and when it comes to certain killers or certain teams and matchups, you have to make sure that you kind of send out your stronger killers, right? You got to send out an S tier every now and then, especially because the burns get reset once the season actually starts, right? Yeah. So you play Nurse or Blight right now, you don't worry, you get to play them regular season also, so it'll be a good time for sure. And yeah, I think we are gonna get started, and I believe we have
go
some
over the rules
things.
here.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get some housekeeping stuff done, right?
Good.
All right, so the way we score things today for the survivor side, you got to do gens. You got to do all 5 of them to get out, right? And the first 2 gens are going to be worth a point each. The next 2 gens, the 3rd and 4th, will be worth 2 points each. And if you manage to power up the exit gates and get all 5 gens done, it'll be a total of 3 points. And once you are completed, you have to be able to escape. And the first escape is 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, etc., right? It keeps going on. And there are some bonus scoring events. If you lose 1 or less hook stages, you get an extra point per escape, if I'm not mistaken. So being able to escape on fresh hook or on first hook is key in this match for sure. So I'm excited to get started. We're ready. We got some more scoring events, more score stipulations for you guys later today. But we're going to get started. Sceptus versus Swamp. And we're going to get started on Suffocation Pit. And wow, what an interesting pick. We're going to see the Plague here.
Oh man, I absolutely love the Plague. The Plague is so strong on this map, actually. Pretty sure during our play stream event we saw this kind of matchup on this particular map, and it was so strong. I'm anxious to see how it turns out. We're already in chase right here. Plague's already got him down to broken status, and there's the down. So fast!
Yeah, absolutely. Gets the quick down, and once again, we talk about it. We talk about how quick you can get your first down once Corrupt Intervention starts kicking in, and that's what we see the white hook, or the white generators, blocked by the entity. Cannot touch them for a hot minute for sure. Gets the first hook, and wow, has a pool of Corrupt Purge right here, but gonna opt to probably not go for it. Wait, Yeah, absolutely. Gonna wait a little bit. This person's fully infected, so this is gonna be really scary for sure if you try to go for this hook, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the norm is definitely to not cleanse, right? Because you don't want to give the plague the corrupt purge, the red vomit, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I've seen people try different strategies, but you know, most of the time you want to try not to give her the sniper rifle right away.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, because of certain add-ons, right? And or sometimes you're able to start with one pool. Sometimes you can add, you know, more pools. It really just depends on the situation. And actually, it looks like we're about to get the ball rolling. And usually, once you do spot a survivor or two, it's a good time to, you know, start up the corrupt purge. But we're gonna get it started right now, just in case anybody comes in, tries to get the rescue. You can usually combo it into an M2, into an M1, right? So you have to be really careful if you're a little bit not paying attention.
So corrupt is now lifting. So now those gens are workable. This survivor is also the second phase. So I feel like maybe the killer is going to... Nope, okay. I was worried that the killer was going to camp till Death Hook. Still might see it. I mean, it is a strategy. In my personal opinion, it's kind of boring to see, but it depends on how bad you want this win.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like you said, maybe not the most flashy of strategies. We would like to see some more interactions between killers and survivors. However, this is definitely viable and it's legal for sure. So, you know, why not go for it if it doesn't assure you a victory? However, I'm curious to see how many generators are gonna pop once this happens. And you see the aura readings right there. That's going to signify that Rancor is also in play. Once the exit gates get powered up, your obsession becomes exposed and you're able to Mori on the spot. So that's a pretty quick kill if you need it. A nice little ace in the hole for sure. So we're gonna have to see. And I'm pretty sure the obsession will be able to call out this perk for sure. So
yeah.
And oh, that was the vomit right there. And here comes the rescue. Oh my goodness, that was so early. And it looks like we're gonna have breakout if I'm not mistaken.
Once again, another quick down. Really no chases so far other than our first chase, and it was really quick, which is what you want as a killer, especially running corrupt. You want to get someone down and on hook fast, and they did just that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not going to be breakout, it's breakdown if I'm not mistaken, the gem perk, right? You have to make sure that whenever you do unhook a survivor with this perk, you actually get rid of the hook that's currently right there. So you have to look for somewhere else to hook. So, and it takes, if I'm not mistaken, a tier 3 could take potentially 180 seconds to respawn. So,
not gonna lie, can't stand to hear the plague cancel a puke, man. Oh my god. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
Nice move by the survivor, jumping in the locker to avoid that snipe.
Yeah, absolutely. Create some distance, able to get the vault over. And yeah, here comes the corrupt purge. We're going to get the down. No, nice fake out right there by the ace. But we are going to get in a situation in a dead zone. Not much else, nowhere else to go. You could see that the vomit is probably inevitable. And no, still gets the miss. You got to close some distance now. Going to have to go for the M1 right there.
That, I don't know how that survivor avoided that, especially with the refrigerator size hitboxes that survivors have on this game. Like, look at that. Very good moves on their part.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice moves right there from the ace for sure. We get yet more generators keep flying, down to 2 remaining. And I think Xerox is looking at the 3-gen that's right here as well. And it's probably going to look to, yeah, look at that. Going to look to recharge the power. Give me the ultimate power, right? And here comes the pressure once again. We have 2 gens right here. We saw one here, Shaq side. We saw one at the right there as well in front of us. And I'm pretty sure we see one to the right of Shaq on the edge of the map. There it is, right? So maybe this is the 3-gen that they're going to try to look for. And you can already see, nice down. You see the generator all the way on the other side of the map. And it's safe to say that Xerox is probably going to let that one go. Knows that there's no point. You know, if you try to pressure that other gen, you know, you could risk losing your 3-gen here. And there you go. There's the dead survivor. 2 gens, regardless, you know, if you're Xerox, this was supposed to happen a lot earlier, but you'll still take it anyways, right?
Right. I mean, I still don't feel like they're in a bad position. Ooh, you hate to see it. Oh, man, nothing makes me madder. Oh man, nothing makes me madder as a killer than to catch that. Like it's so unexpected. But then after it happens once, you might as well expect it. Like it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, for sure. So no, we're not. We're only gonna see it. We'll probably see it maybe one more time in this match, but yeah, I mean, honestly, those are 2 seconds or something like that you're wasting if you're the killer. And hey, the more killer's time that you waste, the more of a chance you have of getting out. And we see these scratch marks, right? We see the fact that they're pressuring both of these gens, trying to put a lot of pressure. You hate to think that this might be the breaking of the 3 gen, right? We have a gen at the other side of the map where the main building is, but we see both of these gens progress so heavily. So you got to think that, man, the defending of this 3 gen might, it might get broken pretty quickly.
Right. And I would like to go ahead and say our scoreboard is not being updated right now. I'm sorry, we are having a few technical difficulties in the back end. It is not 0-0. Just want to put that out there. And all of our gens are done. It's time to patrol some gates here as our killer.
Yeah, for sure. And again, the Rancor coming into play, and we do see the trigger, the noise notification signifying that No Way Out is also in play. And, with only 2 stacks, this is not that much time that you have the exit gates blocked for. So if you find this ace, maybe you get this kill, but you got to find the other survivors also. Waste as much time possible. Keep them on their toes, right? And here comes Nia. Yeah, smart stuff right there. Not getting the pallet drop, waiting a little bit there. Gets the pallet drop finally there. It's going to be broken, though, so you're essentially one shot now until you cleanse. You got to be careful here, right? The mind game. Oh, still gonna get it anyways. I'm not sure if that was a Lithe play or something happening upon us. However, we will get this hook on this Nia. But with No Way Out being, over, where are they? What gates are they gonna open, right?
Right. And we don't see anyone over this way as of right now, or at least no scratch marks. Might be someone creeping around. But hooking the survivor right there will draw someone over there. Maybe they're hoping it's the Obsession. Who do we have here? Nope.
Yeah, look at that. It's the Atom.
Yeah.
So not the Obsession. I'm pretty sure if I'm the ace, I'm doing a relatively good job of staying hidden and not trying to deal with potentially getting Mori out of Rancor. But as soon as I say that, there's the unhook. Now you know where everybody is at, roughly speaking. Did the ace spend some time opening this gate? And it looks like no, they haven't. So this is gonna be. A dead heart might save him, into Shack maybe. We'll have to see.
Oh!
No, that's going to be it.
You hate to see that. The body block, a little bit of communication problem maybe right there.
Yeah.
Definitely not ideal for our Obsession here. Oh.
Yeah, gets the second down once again. However, you got to think the Nia is already on the ace trying to get this pickup. We'll have to see. And no, I don't think so. No, they're not. However, we haven't seen an unbreakable play yet, and we're gonna see the hook. Yeah, we're not gonna see the Mori just because of how much time it'll waste. It should give the Nia time to go pick up the Atom, right? At this point, but there's the unbreakable, I believe. We're gonna get the hook right here. That gate is really close too. You gotta be really careful. This Nia kind of somewhere, and the Atom, who knows where they're at, right?
I mean, I feel like they'd be dancing around Shack back and forth because that's between the 2 doors. But well, there's the Atom. Is that Atom? Yeah.
Yeah, there is the Atom right there. So, I mean, yeah, it's between both doors. It's pretty safe. You see the lights working on that left door. You got to think that the Nia is already working on that door as well. And here it comes. The Atom once again trying to loop around. There's a vault trying to draw the attention away from Xerox. However,
this is
a really
dangerous.
tough spot.
Dangerous position to be in.
Especially because everybody's one shot, right? And we did see I'm pretty sure we saw the unbreakable. But there's the unhook, and that gate is really, really close to being done. You got to be careful. Nice vault back, and that lunge is not going to reach. You got to think that other gate is so close to being worked on. So close to being opened, right? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you see the Shack window, right? Having a little bit of a gap. You're able to kind of peek over it, but it looks like that's probably going to be it. And wow, we get a 3 out. After having Rancor, after having, such a good position, ends up not working out, sadly. 4 Xerox, and he's gonna have to settle for the 1K.
Yeah, I honestly feel like you have the Mori. I would have went ahead and used it if it was me personally. Yeah, it would have taken a little bit more time, but you would have guaranteed that kill, you know. So instead, it didn't quite turn out that way.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. You're exactly right. You know, it does take more time. I think, you know, the thought process is, you know, if you're Xerox, you're thinking, okay, I think I can get at least one more person down other than the person on hook. So let me go for this hook instead of the Mori. Because if he goes for the Mori, or if they go for the Mori, sorry, you're ensuring that the other two are just going to open the gate and leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes enough time. It was more than enough time for you to open the doors. And, you know, it'll be really interesting to see, you know, how much it would have changed the score there a little bit. So, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is the updated score or not, because I know we were having some issues earlier.
They're still working on the score on the back end. We had some issues, so don't go by that right now.
Yeah,
It's not the score. But we are going to switch sides, and we're going to stay on the same map here. We're still going to be on Suffocation Pit, but Sceptus will be surviving this round.
Yeah, and, you know, who is Swamp going to send in as a killer? We'll have to see. It should be a good time regardless. And, you know, yeah, I'm not sure what we would see in this. You know, seeing the Plague Pick, honestly, I was not expecting to see, which was really nice. And there were situations, you know, that having the pools and having Corrupt Purge was actually really good. Way, you know, you kind of had to defend against the Claudette on the hook, right? Using your ability to just, you know, shoot Corrupt Purge towards, you know, all these nooks and crannies, and being able to, you know, just in terms of, you know, camping out the hook and progressing the stages a little bit further, ensuring your one kill, like, is huge, right? And especially with a range killer such as Plague with that Corrupt Purge, it makes it that much easier for sure.
Yeah, and also let's not forget that this is Swamp's home map. Okay, so like, you know, they've practiced this map. They're comfortable with it. So I feel like that's probably what we saw there, is just the comfortability in this map. These survivors knowing, you know, where they're at, and you know, the killer. Maybe they haven't practiced this map. Maybe they have. You just don't quite know. But I'm anxious to see how the rest of the match is going to turn out, especially once we switch realms, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But really excited to see how Sceptus is going to do on Survivor side here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you said, you know, Swamp. This is Swamp's home map. They've done, you know, they've grinded this map for sure. That's how you know they've put a lot of time into this, understanding the different spawns, understanding the way the RNG works. You know, it'll be a good time to say the very least. And I think we do have the score updated this time around, correct?
It's still being worked on.
It looks more right, if I'm not mistaken.
It's still being worked on from what I'm seeing in the background. That's why I'm kind of like everywhere right now. But yeah, I think we're getting closer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We are getting closer. But regardless, it'll be a good time to say the very least who I think we already have a killer in for Swamp side. And yeah, I mean, again, like you said, how Sceptus is going to do on this map, you know, it also depends on, you know, whether the RNG gods are favorable, you know, for which side, right? Where do they spawn? Where does the killer spawn? And then as well as what killer are we going to see today? We saw an S tier killer earlier today. Let's see if, you know, we get another repeat of that.
I want to see a trapper.
Like, I would, you know,
I always say it. I want to see a trapper.
Seeing a trapper on home map would be a gamble, to say the least.
Oh man, I always say that, but one day, I'm going to be surprised, and someone's going to pull out a trapper, and they're just going to blow me away, and I'm going to be like, yes, finally, the footage he deserves.
That's exactly. I mean, honestly, the day we get a trapper in the comp DVD that is plays consistently, is great. You know,
I
mean,
doubt we'll
honestly,
see
like,
that
one of
until he gets some updates. I doubt we see.
I
that.
mean, yeah, the biggest thing is also like the RNG of where the traps on the ground spawn, right?
yeah.
You know, if there's a trap on a dead zone, you're playing with one trap less because you don't have the time to go all the way to the corner and pick up the trap, right, and start using it. And you know, they're just the setup killers are, you know, like for example, the best setup killer that we probably have, you know, is probably the Hag.
Yeah,
but
I was just gonna say the Hag.
Just the fact that like it takes time to set up, you know, and the fact that if you get a survivor who just starts harassing the traps, starts calling out locations on where traps are being placed, it makes the effectiveness overall of those traps and the setup useless essentially. So it becomes really difficult, you know, for someone to play Hag at that kind of level for sure. So
yeah, like I knew you were gonna say Hag right there, because like we saw her just what was it? No, I was thinking of something else. I'm sorry. My head is going right now because I'm worried about the scoreboard. But
no, you're totally good.
The
totally
Hag,
good.
you know, she is the better for sure because of the type ability she has and the add-ons that she has to go with it. I feel like the Hag has been worked well enough with her add-ons to where she is worthwhile in comp. But the Trapper, absolutely not. Like, I feel like he just needs more work completely. Like,
Yeah, there's
better
a couple
add-ons.
killers out there. Yeah, there's a couple killers that need a little bit more work. They need some reworks or they need some adjustments for sure. But you know, regardless, you know, sometimes we see some of these killers come out and they end up working out for the teams that bring them out sometimes. And sometimes, you know, it probably is just like a giant snowball and it just doesn't work. But
Yeah,
however,
that's like last night. Last night we saw a doctor play. Yesterday, you know,
saw the doctor yesterday, and the doctor worked out so well, honestly.
right. So I did get confirmation the score is correct. Okay, man. Now my mind can stop because I was worried about that. But yeah, so we did see the doctor play yesterday, and that, to me, that's one of those killers that's either love or hate playing him. First off, I enjoy playing him, but he's also one of those ones I feel like really easy to counter. And to see him played yesterday was such a great performance. Like I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just like getting to call those matches yesterday was such a good time, and like getting to just see how they were, you know, how they were using, you know, the ability, because Doctor's a great, like Doctor's made for counter looting, right?
Yeah.
Doctor's made to close distance. Doctor's made to, you know, the secondary power with the static blast has the ability to get information. And on a map like Red Forest that we saw yesterday, just like the way they were able to just consistently get information with their power, and they just let their power show them where exactly they needed to go. And you know, that's why we saw the great performance yesterday as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then today some more great performances earlier, and so far I'm impressed with Swamp. Swamp performed very well on Survivor side right there. Made it tough on our Plague on Sceptus there.
Yeah,
that was not an easy matchup. There was a few times I saw a couple things where might have been some miscommunication, but I mean that happens. Trust me,
Yeah.
I'm not one to judge by any means, but you can definitely see when something like that is just kind of a little off, and that the end of the match right there was really awkward. It was a very dangerous situation for our survivors, and a very tough situation for our killer, and it was just very intense there at the end, and it was surprising how it turned out. It could have went either way. You know that as well as I do. It could have went either killer way or survivor way, and
if the gates weren't as close together as
Right,
they were, we could have definitely just seen the immediate two out, cut their losses, and just leave sometimes. But seeing the gates as close as they were, being able to pressure both at the same time, while conversely also pressuring the hook, lurking around, taking the killer away to a different tile, wasting some time. Because we saw the unhook on the ace, right? We saw the Nia unhook also as well once we saw, you know, them chase the Atom as well. So just being able, just like the smaller things are, the more things you have to micromanage, and that just makes it so much more difficult for the killer, right? You kind of just have to be on notice consistently 24/7. Again, if there was an exit gate on the other side of the map, then it makes it that much easier knowing, okay, we can't pressure this gate really, especially if they put the hook next to it, because, you know, we're not going to get out, so we have to take the 2 out. So, right. But because of the gate spawns, you know, being fortunate on Swamp side, they were able to kind of make the aggro play and get the 3 out for sure. So salvaging them some points as well. And I mean, you can see it in the scoreboard, right? We have an 18-12 lead.
Right. I mean, but that's still really, really close.
It's still, yeah, literally, yeah, exactly.
That is
like,
a very
6 points is barely anything.
Yeah, and we've still got a long way to go through this matchup. Looks like we're still trying to get everyone in.
Yeah, I'm actually curious.
Here. Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to get your take on, you know, what killers would you like to see maybe on this map, other than Trapper, because obviously we know you're.
No. That's a meme of mine. But on a serious note, on this particular map, like, I would like to see something that's not S tier. You know, we've seen Nurse today already. You know, like, I'm a Huntress main, so I'm very partial to Huntress. I like to watch good high level Huntress play. But you know what? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a Hag, or, you know, like, that would be pretty gnarly on this map. I feel like, if she's played right, if you play quick enough.
Yeah, you have to play quick enough. You have to understand, because a lot of Hags, what they like to do, you know, there's pretty much like, you know, I'm actually a Hag main myself, so there's like the specter of skill on all the Hag mains, you know, kind of varies. Like the brand new Hags, they're chasing all the time. They finally get it down and they put 10 traps on the hook.
Yeah,
and it's like cool. That's great and all, but. And sure, Hag does need something to defend, and, you know, putting traps on a hook is smart. But usually what you like to do, you know, what I like to do as Hag is, you know, once you have the corrupt intervention, you know, that never leaves my slots. Like, because I desperately need it to set up shop, to set my web of traps, right? And usually what you like to do is go towards the middle of the map, set a trap or 2 around certain tiles, and start working back towards where you spawned, right? And, you know, if you run into a survivor or 2, they give you a free hit or 2, making you think that, hey, I want you to chase me. Don't chase them. Just keep building your web. And then once you do have a nice consistent web setup, that's when you can take aggro a little bit and start luring survivors into your traps, right? And once you have your web, boom, you start snowballing the game as Hag. However, in this situation, when we know all 4 survivors have comms and they all have great game sense, they're able to call these traps out, and that makes it really difficult to deal with Hag for sure at a competitive level.
Right,
so
and
that's the only reason I personally wouldn't really see Hag normally, but I mean, if they did, I would geek out. I'd be really happy.
Yeah, I hear that, man. Like, and plus, you know, to mention with the Hag, you know, you can flashlight the traps, like, especially if you know where they're at. And then if you were just hooked and you're watching the Hag place a trap, like you mentioned, like, you see a lot of Hags they'll trap a hook, and, like, to me, like, if you're gonna trap right after a hook, like, go around a corner that you think they're going to run to, you know, like past the hook or something like that. Because most generally when someone unhooks, they run away from the killer, you know, past the hook, place a trap, run back the other way, let them get unhooked, and then pop, you know. That's me personally. That's the way I play, like, the Trapper. When I do play the Trapper, even though I'm not going to say I'm good, but that's the strategy that runs through my head.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, conversely, what you could do is you could also set up traps, like, you know, with Hack specifically, set up a trap near a hook, and if your comms aren't on point, the miscommunication of, hey, I didn't get trapped as soon as the hook came out, you know, that's when you can ambush really effectively with Hack, right? The element of surprise, to say the very least.
Smart.
So,
I like
you know, if you're dealing, you know, this is mainly for pubs. If you're dealing with no comms, then that's also really, really helpful. You get to, you know, really capitalize on, you know, trap placement there. So, but, you know, speaking of placements, we have all the survivors in the lobby. I think we are gonna get started hopefully pretty soon. And, you know, again, I wonder who we'll see next. I would love to see just a different killer that we don't, that we don't normally get to see for sure. So
yeah, see, I'm not real familiar with the team, so I can't really like kind of guess who they're gonna use. But like I said, I would like to see someone other than an S tier brought out, but I have a feeling they're gonna want to flex maybe and bring out an S tier, especially being preseason, because they can and it won't hurt them throughout main season, regular season. So
exactly.
Why not bring them out right now? Now's time to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta set the tempo. You gotta set the record straight. You gotta let everybody know, like, you're here to play. Like, you mean business for sure. And like you said, how the killers reset once the regular season starts. That just gives you that much more of an incentive to just do it. Just play the killers that you want to play, right? So, but for those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome in. We are in Vigo's court, in session. We're seeing Swamp versus Sceptus right now. Swamp having a really good start on their home map, however, only taking a 6-point lead versus Sceptus. Sceptus bringing out the Plague earlier, and yeah, we saw some really unfortunate plays work, some mishaps, but regardless, thanks to the spawns of certain gates, we were able to see a 3-out happen successfully. But we will be getting started relatively soon, I believe, right? Right,
yeah. I did get the go-ahead. So the entity has told me we're ready to roll. We're just waiting on survivors to ready up here, and we will go check and see what offerings they got. Make sure everyone brought the right thing. Yes, then I'll let you explain the rules about our killer here.
Sure, sounds great. Yeah, you got to make sure we bring the right stuff, right? If you bring the wrong things, there are some penalties that we'll talk about later for sure. And yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, here we see all the blueprints, we see the cut coin, we see all that good stuff, right? Yeah, we gotta do some housekeeping right here today and talk about some more rules. And let's talk about the killer scoring rules. Killers, obviously, it's easier said than done, but you gotta go out, you gotta down people, put them on the hooks. The first hook worth 2 points, the second worth 2 as well. The third is worth 3 points as well. However, if you get a progression, if you get a change, you lose a point, right? You have to make sure it discourages camping completely, right? And you have to remember 4K also means you get 2 points extra. The 7th and 8th progressions each are worth 1 point. However, there are a few exceptions. Any adjacent hook Amori will be the adjacent hook, and the entity kill is hook plus progressions, but with a bleed out, you get 0 points, and we are gonna get going onto the killer's side for Swamp, and oh my goodness, here it is. We got the Blight. We got, the S tier killer, the ability to move around. The mobility is going to be huge, and we get it down already. That's crazy to say.
That is so fast, but that's what you expect to see with the Blight. You expect to see a survivor found very fast. You want to see him enter chase quick and then end it really fast. Before, like we see, of course, we got Corrupt. I mean, we might as well expect that every match. But we've got Corrupt, and we aren't even halfway through our Corrupt right now. And there's already a hook. So, very fast gameplay with the Blight.
Absolutely. And we saw the generator kick right there with the bigger puff of smoke. That lets us know Pop Goes the Weasel is also active. And here we have another hook. We have a hook trade. And yeah, there you go. You got to drop the pallet. It's a quick break. Less cooldown. You have little distance to create. But oh my god. Oh, do we have an aura reading? We have an aura reading add-on for the Blight, I'm not mistaken. But that was crazy. We do get the pickup once again on the Nancy. Gonna choose to leave this arena on the ground. Gets picked up anyways as we progress to the second hook stage onto the Nancy rather quickly, right?
Yeah, like I'm not sure what add-on that would be for the aura reading, but if he didn't have the aura reading there, it might have been a little harder to find that survivor. So good move, good call on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, it's crazy to say the very least. And I believe what we have in play is we have the Compound 21 add-on.
That's it. Yep.
And initiate slam, you reveal the aura within 8 meters of the collision for 3.5 seconds, which basically means as soon as you bump against the wall, you see the aura of a survivor if they're close enough. And that way, it lets you know exactly where to put your next collision, right? And so that's huge in terms of that situation where there's like little nooks and crannies where you have to micro adjust if you're the Blight. Because of how effective the power is, you got to make sure you're doing the right thing. And here comes the Claudette trying to get this rescue, trying to avoid the 3rd hook stage. And you got to be careful. Yeah, the Blight's Claudette looks like they're going to leave.
Yeah, like really, it's either that or get grabbed. Like, because, you know, they were both being patient there, and they both knew what was happening. And I feel like the Claudette just knew, like, she's going to have to get out of there. There was no trading right there. He was confirming his kill.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and speaking of add-ons that we were mentioning earlier, we do see the Blighted Crow as well, which gives a +6 movement speed for every consecutive rush, right? So you have to, you know, it gives them a lot of speed, gives them a lot of opportunities to get across the map, right? You get faster and faster. It's huge. Look at this.
Oh my God! What a hit!
The ability to be able to curve that well as Blight is huge, honestly. Understanding your killer is honestly everything, and you see it here first.
Oh, dude, I'm not even kidding. I got chills on that, man. That was like insane range, just running all the way across map, skating like that, and then getting that hit, man. There's just so much skill with the Blight. That's insane. And there you see the power of the Compound 21 once again, getting that down.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff right there. We have someone on hook, and yeah, it's gonna be a great time to say the least for this Blight if, you know, they are, you know, yeah, there you go. There's the unhook, and ooh, do I see what I think I see right there? We see the Zarina off the hook. We see the broken status effect. It's safe to say that that might have been a deliverance play. We might have another perk in play as well, so we'll have to see what the timer leads us to, right? We get 60 seconds of broken status effect, and that lets us know for sure that that was the deliverance. However, gauging the fact that we saw the unhook from the Zarina onto the Nancy earlier, you know, it's safe to assume that it is a deliverance play.
So we are looking for a survivor here. It looks like we found one. Yes, and a hit.
Yeah, gets the hit right there. Are you gonna use your pop? Yes, you are. Gonna subtract 25% progress from that generator, and yeah, you're gonna force the Kate into a tough situation right here. Yeah, are you gonna waste the time? Yeah, you're gonna come out here, and nice dead hard right there to create some distance, and does make it to a pallet, right? For those of you who are playing this game and not at a competitive level or trying to get better at it, understanding when to use your dead hard is so important, right? Using your dead hard in an open space only prolongs your down by a second or two, but using it to chain yourself into a structure, into a pallet or a window prolongs it even longer, right? We could have seen the pallet drop as well anyways, right? But considering how quick Blight can break the pallets with his Blight Rush, we usually don't see it. However, that was a really good showing on how to use the dead hard for sure.
And we have another hook, and we want to, you know, I want to mention again, this is his home map. So, like, we expect to see this level of gameplay from the killer at their home map. You know, you expect them to have practiced here, and, you know, being a Blight and knowing what you can bounce off on this map, you know, bounce off of, is just huge. And this guy's got experience on this map, hands down. You know that. And it's making for a really exciting killer play. And I know it's making it tough on these survivors. This is this is not an easy match for these guys. But we're sitting at 4 gens left.
Yeah, the way Swamp's killer is setting the tempo here, right? Consistently just getting consistent blights. Every time he gets a blight rush, he gets a hit, he gets a swing, and once again, we're gonna see the pop go into effect, and man, this is just back and forth, right? This is a very unfavorable trade for the survivors. You keep taking a hook stage, you keep eating a hook stage, and in turn, the killer is getting free pop stacks consistently, right?
Ooh.
That gen literally can't get completed as we get yet another down onto this Claude, right?
Such a fast fake right there. You see him turn into last second for his little rush and goes around the corner, fakes them out, gets the down. Beautiful play.
Absolutely, and that's going to be a dead Claude right there. Once again, at 4 gens, you got to think, man, this guy has been truly prepared. And especially Swamp, that was insane.
Wow.
Especially Swamp being the team that we didn't expect to see until someone had to drop out of the season. The fact that they're here now and the fact that they're showing us exactly that they mean business is such a treat to see as everybody goes down now.
Man. Wow, what a performance. We were talking before the match started. I was wondering if we were going to see a flex, I think that's what we're seeing.
What a flex. What a flex, right? We see it right here, right now. Yeah, there's the hatch for good measure. Oh, yeah, just bringing him right in front of it just so you know that is not for you. And gonna get the hatch closed. And the 4K, really great stuff. Just the way they were using the Blight Rush so well. The way they were able to just close the distance, get from point A to point B on the map with relatively ease. And man, just the way you play Blight was so crucial. There was some good decision making on the survivor side as well, doing a really good job. Again, we mentioned it earlier, the Kate wasting enough time to use a Dead Hard right there, right? And those little moments can buy you so much time. However, if you don't use them the right way, or if your team does not capitalize on them, it doesn't really matter. And right there, we see a very big lead come out.
Very
for
big.
Swamp. 46-14. We only saw one generator completed that game.
That's tough. That's tough. No, I think we saw 2. Wasn't there 2? Right there at the end, I think there was a second one.
There might have been another pop, yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty sure that the last down, not the last down, but the down before that, she had just finished a gen and then he downed it. So,
yeah, you're probably right. Regardless, I mean, they got very little points out of that, right? Sceptus.
There was no escapes. I'm pretty sure it was only 2 gens done. Man, that's tough. That's tough. And as far as points go, man. And now we swap sides. We're going to be going to Sceptus home map, which I'll let you give us a rundown on that if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to stay in the Macmillan estate. However, we will be transitioning into the Groaning Storehouse. 9,984 square meters, a little bit smaller, right? But we do have that main building, right? And once again, a minimum of 7 hooks, 12 max. Regardless, this should be a really good time for us for sure. We have that giant warehouse in the main building, right? We do have that extra space at the very bottom of 6, right? With kind of close to where the shack is. Shack spawns kind of in the middle as well, right? So you have to, the 2 big buildings, right? They spawn relatively closer to each other as opposed to the last variation of Macmillan that we saw. So it'll be a really interesting time to see if there's any, for example, off the top of my head, any live plays out of maybe shack window into main building or vice versa to kind of create some distance from the killer, right? So it'll be interesting to see. And I mean, again, this is Sceptus's home map, and if we see half of the familiarity that we saw out of Swamp, we could see this, this lead kind of just close out. 32-point lead, if my math is correct, and it'll close out pretty quickly if they're on point about it,
Right. And, not to mention, if you look at how that map's laid out, you have those, it's really unique, which there's a lot of unique maps, they're all pretty much unique in their own way, but how it has the 2, small ears that come off of it on the south and east side. You look at those, depending on how gens are placed and stuff, those can be tough areas to deal with for a killer.
Absolutely. And just because like, and the thing is mid, like in between main building and shack, with how choked off it is, there's not much room to go, right? And like you said, the east and south side of the maps 3 and 6 kind of dead zones as well. Usually at the very corner of 3, sometimes we do see an exit gate pop. And just, you know, because of the craziness between everything that happens in main building and in shack, that exit gate is so far away, right?
Yes.
The same thing happens with 6, right? On the west side of 6, on the left side of 6, at the bottom, right? Bottom left of sorts. That's where we also see, you know, an exit gate spawn. Sometimes I've seen gates spawn at 11. I've seen them spawn at 12. They kind of just spawn anywhere. It just really depends on the gate, in terms of gate RNG for sure, at the very least, right? And usually, Gen spawns at 3, Gen spawns at 6 as well. Those are very far out, and you got to think, you know, off the top of your head, unless you got a 3 gen working from 6, 5 towards mid, you got to let the 3 and 6 gens go pretty quickly, right? You got to defend all the other gens for sure. So,
yeah.
So we'll have to see what killers we get, right?
Yeah, exactly. But going off of what you just said, you know, like where the exit gates spawn, man, like it can be a nightmare on this map, you know, for a killer, because, you know, when the exit gates spawn, not like the last match we saw, I mean, really exit gates for like the plague, they were really close together, you know, it's nothing like that. Like when you have them spread out really far, it's a nightmare, and good survivors can capitalize on that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of good survivors, we're about to probably get underway. Everybody is in the lobby, getting ready to start relatively quickly, I hope. Regardless, the games have been such a good time so far, and man, it's been a great time, to say the very least.
Right. Just waiting on everyone to ready up here, and then we're going to go over our next set of rules for you.
Yeah, the housekeeping stuff. Once again, we got to get everything sorted right for the people. No pun intended. However, I gotta ask, what killers do we see coming out? What do you think?
I'm gonna say Huntress. I'm hoping it's going to be a caster's curse, because I enjoy watching Huntress.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Huntress,
what about you,
good
man?
Time for sure. I would love to see. I mean, honestly, Huntress was pretty great. I kind of wanted to see some blight, and we got really good blight.
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh!
So
did we ever?
Yeah, we did. It was crazy. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it for sure. Regardless, though, you know, I don't think we'll get the blight in response as well, like in the mirror. But you know, maybe, you know, I would love to see some more Doctor, you know, if they're played as well as we saw them yesterday. I would like to see, you know, this is me, you know, appealing to the low tier main in my heart. I would love to see some Wraith, but I don't think we'll see it. I would cry, you know, I would cry if I would cry for it to happen. However, before we get into the rules progression, we do gotta mention. Well, actually, I'll just go ahead and mention it right now, and I'll mention this after, right? There's rules in place. We got to talk about bans. We got to talk about the builds. Any killer perks that are banned: Coup de Grace, Haunted Ground, Starstruck, Dead Man's, Pain Resonance, and Lethal Pursuer. Any combos: Deadlock, No-Ed, and No Way Out and No-Ed. No Way Out and No-Ed would be insanely broken if it was actually legal. So, and for the Survivor side, no build to last, no boons, no boil over, no prove thyself to speed up the gem progress. And no combos as well. No Iron Will Lucky Break, no off the record Lucky Break, and general bans and restrictions. All of the add-ons and items that survivors can bring should be yellow or below, one of each. No characters, no perks that are the same except for BT. And you know, it's gonna be a good time regardless. And we gotta be really careful. You know, if you remember the scoreboard, at 30 points, we possibly can call it, right? There's a possibility that this match today might get decided prematurely. We might get to the 4th round, or we might never get to the 4th game. So we'll have to see what happens as we start in Groaning's Storehouse, as we dive into the fog. And man, we see what a killer that we see, right? We see the nurse come out.
Yes, once again we see the nurse. Of course, we see Corrupt on the board, and you know, this is another S tier. Ooh, did not slow the nurse down with the flashlight.
Yeah, I tried to get the flashlight right there in order to stop the blink, and wow, just runs right into you. Regardless, it doesn't even matter. Great stuff. And wow, we had someone, you heard the footsteps. We saw the pallet save right there, but it doesn't even matter.
Oh
He
my
said,
God.
get over here. I don't care at all. And we get the pickup. We get the trade on the hit. We get the pallet break, and we get the hook, right?
Wow.
You have to be really careful as the nurse starts heading towards the middle of the map, right?
Yeah, we're over halfway through our corrupt. Already got the hook. You hear a gen right there, been kicking around. Looking really good for our nurse right now, I have to say.
Absolutely. And if you see the sparks kind of fly off on that nurse, the nurse did not kick that gen. That signifies to us and the viewers back home that Hex Ruin is also in play. So 200% generator regression when you're not on it. You gotta be careful. And honestly, the nurse kind of blinking on this survivor, hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, gets the hit on the Claudette, but also if you kind of just hold the hill right there, they're not gonna push that gen. And oh my goodness, was that a Scrimburst? But no matter anyways, gets the down regardless. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, just the way the nurse was on the hill, camping the gen, it forces Ruin to do a number on that gen, losing so much regression. And there is the gen pop right there. We're gonna get Deadlock coming out as well. We see the white gen right there, which was the one next to the hill.
Very strong perks here for our nurse, and very strong aggressive gameplay. You saw what a blink shot off of that hill, man. I get so excited when I see a nurse that is well played. Even though, you know, you see him a lot, it is an S tier killer. I've already said that, you know, like I still get stoked whenever you see such a good play and someone who's really good with that particular killer. Just like we saw with the Blight, we're seeing it again with the nurse.
Absolutely, and that notification lets us know Ruin is down, but we also see the cloud. We see the yellow cloud signifying the Ruin and Pop combo. Very safe combo to run for sure. You have Ruin to do your primary regressing on the generator. Sometimes you get unlucky with the hook spawns, and wow, what a blink into the Deadheart and gets the unhook anyways, but no Deadheart to save you right here. Gets to blink through the Claudette and gets the down right. Again, though, with the aggressive unhook, you gotta think.
Oh my God, what a grab!
Oh, man,
Woo!
get out of here. I was going to say, are we going to see potentially a deliverance play with how aggressive that unhook was? But oh my goodness, he gets the grab off of the gen and off the hook and gets the second hook stage already.
Oh my gosh. I know you guys can't see it right now, but I literally jumped about a foot in the air when I saw that grab. That was insane. I love to see great nurse plays, man. I can't say it enough. Very exciting to watch.
Absolutely. And on that note, the ace will go down very quickly at 4 gens, and we do get the hook on the David. Everybody's been on hook except for the Nancy, so we'll have to see. Once again, though, I mentioned it earlier, are we going to see this deliverance play come out of the David? We saw the aggressive hook. You know, I'm inclined to see it.
Misread there. But can we just talk about how aggressive this nurse is being right now? How confident in the blink. It's so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the way they are confidently blinding through and getting these hits anyways. Regardless, there's the down on the Nancy. Finally gets the one hook. We see the David unhook with no broken status effect. That lets us know that there was probably no deliverance in play. So here comes the first hook onto the Nancy. And yeah, we're going to keep chugging along for sure, to say the very least.
Yeah, you know, in this situation, you know, for our survivors, you know, they pretty much are not going to meet their win conditions or even come, you know, this is pretty much going to be it for them. But hopefully we see them still play it out. Like, we want to see, you know, them still try. This is preseason. This is time to get your practice in. This is time to get your feet wet. We all know that. And this is the time to, you know, really try things out and see how it works out for you. And then that way, when it comes to, you know, regular season, you can have already made those changes, or you know, practice, you know, certain areas for the team, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And here comes, yeah, there's the second blink right there, I believe, and doesn't get it anyways. You know, the Nancy making more distance. And honestly, at this point, you know, with the point differential, it's a really scary situation to call. Like it might be curtains for sure. Sceptus is gonna be looking to getting as many points as possible though, even though they did have a survivor, you know, be sacrificed at 4 gens, which is crazy. Nancy already at the second hook stage. Everybody, I believe, with the exception of David, on second hook, or worse. Claudette dead on hook. The Nancy second hook and the David having 1 hook. So nobody's fresh. No deliverance plays coming out from anybody at this point. Who knows? Maybe the ace could have been the one with the deliverance. So and here comes the generator pop right here. With pop goes the weasel. And nice blink through right there. Just to double check to make sure anybody's hiding around, right? So it's a, you know, you have to patrol the gens, right? Got to be really careful.
Right.
Man, just the way they're able to just confidently move up and down certain heights, right? With the blinks right there. Great stuff, to say the very least. And we do have a full reset on everybody. So gonna take 2 hits, right, for Nurse to get someone down. However, I mean, with the way they've been blinking consistently, there should be another hit right here. And no, gets the tree. That's a tree right there. Miss Nurse. And you're playing Minecraft, I guess, as the Claudette makes a lot more distance right here.
Oh, and there it is.
And finally gets the hit right there. Yeah, finally does get the hit. As Gen pops, man, like, even though we did see an early sacrifice on the ace.
This isn't good.
Unfortunate.
Yep. So we are going to see the down on the Claudette. This is death hook for her, but do we get to save? No, we do not. Timing was off.
Yeah, still, that was really scary, right? A little bit too late on the blind right there, as we do get a dead Claudette. And Pop is going to do a number on this gen right here. And we do see the deadlock working, doing a number on that gen. We see all the way on the 3 side, right? We talked about the eastern side of the map and how usually an exit gate and a generator spawns there. That was the one with the most progress, so that's exactly what Anli's gonna do, or Only is gonna do over here. Come check on to the generator, and you see that gate right there as well.
Yeah, now we've let's see.
What? The way that Nancy blended with that cart right there was actually really smart. The shirt being kind of the same color as the cart, giving her a chance to blend in a little bit. But the blinks through, and you can kind of see Nancy right there a little bit, which is why the Nurse decided to kind of come back and commit to the hit. And wow, the mobility, right? The ability to kind of just understand where your survivors are at all times, right? Man, this should be another hit on the David. Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be it. Remember, the David is the one with the dead heart. Do you remember if you're Anli, right?
Right. And, I mean, oh my gosh, man.
And the beauty of blinking right on top of you is that you have no time to react. You have no time to press E to get your dead heart going. As we get the second hook on this David, and we know that Nancy is slugged on the ground, so it looks like it's gonna be 4K for 4K. However, I think it is gonna be too late for Swamp. Getting 2 4Ks in a row is actually kind of big, honestly, because this was Swamp. Swamp was playing Blight earlier, and now they're playing Nurse, right?
Yeah.
So just the fact that they were able to set tempo, take a big lead the first game, and take an even bigger lead in the second game was just huge, honestly.
Yeah, they're definitely showing they don't want to take their second chance for granted. And
absolutely. I mean, they were like you said earlier, right? Like they came in as a you guys didn't get picked, but someone had to drop out, so here's your spot if you want it. And man, 73-16, that was insane, to say the very least. That's probably the biggest blowout we've seen all weekend, right?
Yeah, that's the I don't know if it's the highest scoring match, but it's the biggest deficit that we've seen this this weekend.
For sure. Mathematically, it's like impossible, right? It's impossible for you to come back out of this. So
Yeah.
I don't even think we would even play this last game. So we'll have to see, you know, according to, you know, the people in charge, right? We're going to have to see what's up. The entity. Does the entity allow for the 4th game to be played, right?
I don't know.
And no, I don't think so. But regardless, the games have been crazy. The games were, you know, high octane. Great showing of 2 S tier killers, right? With the Blight, with the Nerf, showing us that they, again, Swamp came in ready to play. So it's gonna be crazy to say the very least, man. Like, I'm excited to see how they're going to, you know, come out and, just perform all season, man, because that was a performance to say the very least. So,
yeah, and not to, you know, say anything bad about Sceptus. Like, this is preseason. This is like the time you want this to happen. That way you can find your weaknesses and you can improve on them. You know, like anything you felt like you guys did wrong, or, you know, you felt you could have done better, then that's the time that you want to, push forward on that. And it looks like we are going to have an interview here.
It's time to get into the interrogation room.
Yes.
Doc, I'm going to let you take it if you want it. Do the interrogating. You're the good cop. I will be the bad cop, just being snarky.
Can we not just both be bad cops?
We can be bad cops, yeah, absolutely.
Let's
but
do
we
it.
We do have someone in waiting room, and now they are into the interrogation room with us, the one and only. Owen. Owen.
Welcome.
We saw some great games for sure. Yeah, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. I'm just happy that I spent a lot of DVD today, so happy it's over and go to bed, to be honest.
Yeah, it's bedtime, huh?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hopping in and letting us interrogate you for a few minutes. Tell us strategy, man. Like, come on. Like, not to give anything away in detail, but like, what were you thinking going into this match? Where was the team at?
So we were feeling pretty decent on the Suffo pit. We were pretty confident they were going to pick Blight, and they picked the Plague, which was a surprise. And towards the end, we were obviously a bit nervous, but I guess the strategy for us was just to try not get found at the start, which did not work out.
Right.
As you saw. And basically try stealth up corrupt and make sure we were split on the generators before the first person got found.
Yeah, that was a scary.
That's not how it went.
That was a scary situation there at the end of that round, bro.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys did well. You pulled it off.
Yeah, happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously got Virtual to play Blight for us. Very nice. He's a very, very good Blight. So happy about that.
Wow. Yeah, like you guys go back and watch that VOD. You literally hear me screaming during his gameplay. I was like, wow. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah,
kid.
for sure. And for sure. And I mean, like you said, like the feeling of getting back-to-back killers, right? And just steamrolling. Like how was that? What was the reasoning for the nurse pick specifically?
The nurse pick, we just thought it made the most sense on Groaning. Like, obviously it used to be back when there were a lot of bugs with I can't remember what it was. There used to be bugs with Cold Tower. I think it was the desync bug, and nurse was on Groaning Storehouse in the meta for a long time. So we just thought it made sense, and then Blight on Suffo Pit, obviously it made sense as well, as that's his best map.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Just the ability to get from point A to point B was actually huge on both killers, actually. And the way we saw Nurse onto the second map, we saw them go on to the top of the hill, right? Having a gen right in front of them, just having Ruin do a number, having lots of visibility, and it just like you were just picking cherries as opposed to who you wanted to go after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally just the first person you saw was like, all right, I'll chase this person then. And just playing it, they just played it very cleanly, honestly. The grab too, the grab kind of. The grab the grab on the Claude kind of signified the impeding doom on this team, probably, right?
Dude, yeah, I literally jumped on that one too. Like I was blown away. That was really exciting to see.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if the Claude wasn't molding, because NA ping, it was probably 100% bar. It's, yeah.
Yeah, it was it's definitely a punching in the air type of moment, just like frustration for sure. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah,
But
it was a great time. To
Oh
stay
my
at the
gosh,
very
it
least,
was very impressive. It was very impressive to watch. You guys looking strong coming into this preseason here, or coming out of the preseason now. That was it. That was pretty much it going into the regular season. How do you feel going into the regular season after seeing some of the competition?
Pretty confident. I mean, yeah, we're here obviously to do our best. We'd love to win, but you know, we're not looking for that. We're just looking to have fun, try our best, and see what we can
play
do.
some good DBD matches. That's all that matters,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and also I do have one more question as well. At least on my end, you know, knowing the situation with being quote unquote let's say waitlisted to say the very least, coming in with the team dropping out and things happening, life happening, and you guys able to kind of just come in for the for the season after originally not being in the plans, right? Coming in and just like the biggest showing, right? Like you got to think, was that a little bit on your minds knowing like, okay, we got a second chance to jump in and, it's time to just show people that we're here, we mean business.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, no matter what, we wanted to, we want to show ourselves off.
I called it. I
show
called
our
it.
skills and show how we play as a team. Obviously,
Yeah.
to be fair, it's a fairly new team, and I'm pretty happy with how we're performing like recently. Seeing as I only joined the team probably like 3 weeks ago, and Counter Raid is even newer than that, and yeah, we're feeling pretty confident. So
Yeah. So
Nice.
like I was telling SSB, I was like, I feel like these guys are going to come out and they're going to flex. Like I felt like it was coming, and like I called it. Like, yeah, that's what I figured was going to happen. It's preseason. Why not? Set the pace. Let everyone know what they're up against. You know what I mean?
of course.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, that's it for me. Good luck to you with the season. Honestly, I'm excited to see what else you guys have to offer to the table. Right, we saw 2 S-tier killers. I'm actually really curious to see if you guys have any surprise picks in store for everybody as the season progresses. But that's it for me. I don't know if Doc has any more questions.
oh man, that's all we have time for. But I'm pretty sure we'll be talking again this season, bro.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, I guess one last thing for sure. Do you have anything to say to anybody who's like been supporting the team, or just watching in general? You have anything to say for everybody?
I got my mate Ronnie, who's been asking for merchandise in my DMs. He's just following me, and obviously I'm on Swamp, so it's nice to see. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. But yeah, that's pretty much it. To be fair,
The shout out.
Yeah, we love to see the shout outs for sure for the one time, right? For the OG, right?
of course.
But yeah, I mean, thanks for coming in and talking to us. It was really nice.
worries, man.
It's really nice for me, me being a first time caster for competitive DBD in general, just like getting to talk to everybody and kind of getting a little bit on their insight and how everybody's feeling. And seeing the games in general is just a treat to watch. And again, I wish you the best of luck in the season for sure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Get you some rest, man. GG's.
Cheers. Take care.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it for me. I've said all I needed to say. My voice is kind of tired. We've been doing this for a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
for a bit.
I have to say it. It's time. You know what it's time for, right?
What is it time for?
Swamp is guilty. Has been found guilty.
Yeah, they have.
They are.
Most definitely. The jury has decided that they are guilty.
Yes.
Hippity hoppity. It's time for the chippity choppity, the guillotine.
It is time.
Sentence them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Regardless, though, it was great. Great matches, fun, exciting, lots of tempo, right? Set on Swamp's side. It was a lot of fun. Doc, it was a great time getting to talk with you, man.
Yes,
for sure,
definitely. So Swamp was convicted of murder, and we will be back later in the week with some more matchups, I believe. And I may be wrong. Don't quote me. But yeah, so May 4th is what I'm being told by the entity. The voice in my head, the entity, So May 4th-ish. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out, and make sure you go to the Discord, do the thing. Go check out our YouTube, subscribe. That way you can see these VODs drop. They drop on Mondays, I believe, so keep an eye out on that. I know we've seen some questions about that here in the chat. And this is Doc Frame and SSB Kid. That way. Sorry, wrong way. That way. And we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Cheers.
That was a missed decisive strike. So before the first gen even pops.
And we do see Death Wish convicted of murder here, as you can see by the score to the final set.